What's up, everybody? I was actually going to talk about the history of cerebral palsy, but my phone died, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so I'm not gonna do it. So I thought about talking about. I don't know what to talk about, guys. I'm sorry. Horrible video. Um. Ooh. I got it. Okay. So we got coffee brewing in the background. Anywho, I'll talk about my surgery and what I went through. Let me tell you something. My last surgery, which was May 22nd, 2018, right, was the most horrendous surgery I've ever been through in my whole entire life, because I was very sick. There was like no complications whatsoever, okay? It wasn't like, oh my goodness, we found an infection and you're like, we have to go and, do more surgery kind of deal. I was just sick. Because of the medication they gave me. I found out that I was allergic to a medication that they gave me through the IV, and I broke my IV. No joke. Don't ask how I did that, but I did. So I broke my IV. I looked like I got beat up because I had about 20 nurses trying to find a vein and trying to put an IV in, and they couldn't do it. Finally, they sent somebody who could actually put an IV in, so my arm was all black and blue. It looked like I got beat up or got into a fight or something. And yeah, it was just horrendous. I kept getting sick. I didn't want to eat. I was in a lot of pain. So let me tell you what happened. As all you know, and some of you may not, go back to my intro. If you want to watch my intro, go for it. I have what's called a mild spastic cerebral palsy, and it affects my eyesight, my legs, my balance, the way I walk. So therefore, I'm not able to ride a bike. I'm not able to run. So if I got into like a situation to where I would have to run, well, on SOL. And I've had 22 surgeries throughout my lifetime because of CP, and yeah. So here's what happened. This is how God works, right? I go to multiple doctors, legitimate. I go to multiple doctors, and I'm in a lot of pain, and all these doctors are like, well, there's nothing we can do, you've gone through all the surgeries that we could have done, we can't do anymore. I've went to a surgeon, and he basically said, well, I'm not going to do surgery on you anymore because you don't do the exercises. And I gave up on it, and I blasted him, okay? I told him off. I said, you know what? I was a kid when you did surgery on me. I don't even remember you doing surgery on me. And if you did surgery on me when I was a kid, well, kids aren't gonna understand the importance of exercising because they're disabled. They're not gonna understand any of that, okay? Their minds are still growing. Their minds are still developing. And I went off on him, because if you're going to be a surgeon and somebody comes to you and says, hey, or no, let me back up. Back up. If a doctor recommends you as a surgeon, you do not tell a patient, well, I'm not going to do surgery on you because this is what you did in the past, okay? You don't do that. You either do the surgery or you just say no. You don't really tell them why. Unless you say, I'm not exactly I've never really studied up on this, and I'm not very qualified. Like, that's fine, but to tell a patient, let me tell you guys, you do not tell a patient that you're not going to do surgery because of what happened in the past. That's in the past. We got to let the past go. Nothing we can do about it. Do I regret not doing all the exercises? Yes. But I was a kid. I didn't have full understanding. My parents tried their hardest to help me understand, and for some reason, I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why I had to go to physical therapy. I didn't understand why I had to go be back and forth to the hospitals. I didn't understand with all the doctor's appointments. I didn't understand why I had so many therapeutic sessions, and I didn't understand why I was taken out of class. Okay? That's what I didn't understand. I was a kid. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to be like everybody else. Because from my waist up, I'm like everybody else, right? But if you see me, you could definitely see that there's something wrong. Well, except for my eyes. If you look into my eyes, you might think that something's wrong. Or that I do drugs on it too. I don't know. But I legitimately had a surgeon tell me the reason why he didn't want to do surgery on me wasn't because he wasn't qualified, wasn't because he didn't understand my condition or whatever, or anything like that. It was because I didn't do the exercises when I was a kid. I was a kid. I'm an adult now. I realize how serious this can get once I have the surgery, right? So, if you're a surgeon and you're watching this, do not tell a patient that. You can say, I'm not very qualified. I don't really know what to do with your condition. Don't be a know-it-all. Just flat out tell the truth. So I went to multiple doctors. I had a doctor who recommended me a surgeon. I went to that surgeon, and he flat out said no. I've had doctors tell me, oh, there's nothing that else can be done. All the surgeries are done. You're just going to end up getting worse. By the time you're age 30, you're going to end up in a wheelchair, which can be very devastating. And that's where I had to pray. I'm like, okay, God, help me with this pain. Just help me with all this pain. I can't do it. I can't walk. I need a way out. If you want me to have surgery, open up that door for me. I literally asked for surgery. Okay, and that's not what goes on people's minds sometimes. Sometimes, people try to stay away from surgery. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't want surgery, no. But me, I was like, Lord, if you can provide a way for me to have another surgery, then do so. If you choose to allow me to be in a wheelchair, I'm going to be honest, I will be highly depressed. But I will know that I need you to show me how you're going to use me for your glory. Because when you're in a wheelchair, you feel helpless, you feel like you got to count on everybody, and it's just difficult. I've only been in a wheelchair for a short amount of time, thankfully, so I kind of understand that feeling. You'd have to find a wheelchair accessible church and whatnot. Um, so there's that. And, it was difficult. So I finally found a doctor, and he asked me what I was there for, and I said, I'm in a lot of pain. Is there some type of surgery I can go through? And he said, he was very honest. He said, I've never dealt with patients with CP before, so I'm going to send you to an expert. This is how God works, you guys. Oh my gosh. This is how God works. Okay, let me tell you. This is how God works. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm just highly excited. This is how God works. He sends me to an expert. He sends me to a specialist, right? But this is just an ordinary specialist. This specialist knew about cerebral palsy. Not only that, but he is also a surgeon. Shout out to Dr. Atkinson. Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much for your help. And not only is he a surgeon, but he was my childhood surgeon. Like, he's performed multiple surgeries on me before. And so that's how God works, okay? I didn't know who my childhood surgeons were. I was just a child. I was flipping afraid. I thought I was going to die. I didn't want to go through it. I fought. I begged. I did everything I could. I'm like, okay, I'll do my exercises. But that's not how that works, right? And so he sent me to my childhood surgeon, and he is like the best of the best in the United States. He's like top notch in my state. He knew about me. He knew about my medical records. He knew everything about me. And, he did measurements. He did everything that he had to do. Surgeons, they have to take measurements. They have to figure out a plan. They may need x-rays. I had to have multiple x-rays on my back, on my legs, etc. And it was horrendous because I had to go. It was like a 2-hour drive every time. I was so not. I was exhausted. I was like, okay, all right. So how's this gonna work, right? And I'm nervous, of course, because I've been rejected by one surgeon. I didn't know if he would be willing to do the surgery or not. So through this whole entire process, I'm praying. I'm asking God to open up this door. Let my surgeon know. My surgeon's also a Christian, and and he said. So I go back in December. This is back in 2018. Okay, it's 2021, guys. Back in 2018. I go back in December, and he looks at all the X-rays. He's not assessed me. He checks on me. I can't remember the term. I want to use a different term, but I can't remember it. But he checks on me. He takes the measurements, does all this stuff. And he said, I will definitely do the surgery. And he said, there's one or two ways I can do it. And I'm thinking, oh crap. And he's like, I can go through your spine. And I got scared real quick. I'm like, okay, not the spine. Please do not touch my back. Please, I beg you, do not touch my back. And then he was like, or I could go through your femur bone. I can go through your leg. And I was like, okay, please go through my leg. Please go through my leg. Okay, just to make sure, you guys, he's a surgeon. He's a professional. He knows what's best. He goes and talks to his colleagues. But I'm thinking, please, I'm begging you, do not go through my spine. That would not be good. Oh my gosh. And he did say that he really didn't want to go through my spine because it is the most dangerous surgery that could happen. And with the chances of me having surgery on my back to fix my balance problem, my walking problem, and all that, was a 50-50. And I don't do 50-50s. It's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. One of the two. Okay, so I don't do 50-50s. So if he's like, okay, I have to go through your spine, but it's a 50-50, I'm not doing 50-50. I'm like, Doc, you gotta give me something different. Right. So, that said, thankfully, he's like, I've got to talk to my colleagues, but I really don't want to go through your spine. I really don't want to, because it's 50-50, it's dangerous. I really don't want to do it. It's too complicated. Thankfully. Unless he had to. He's one of those surgeons that's like, I will perform it if I absolutely have to, but if I don't have to, then I don't want to. He wasn't trying to be lazy. He's a very good surgeon. Shout out to Dr. Atkinson. So what happened was he went through my femur bone. And, so I had the surgery on May 22nd of 2018. Gosh, you guys, I was like nervous wreck. I'm so thankful to my pastors. I'm thankful to my church. They helped me get through it. I was a nervous wreck. I was in a lot of pain. I was not myself, and I apologize if I was short with anybody. I was just not myself. Very depressed and very lonely. But thankfully, I've had people come by and visit me when the whole ordeal was over with. So anyway, he goes in. What he does, he doesn't take the bone out of my leg. Okay, he doesn't take my femur bone. All right, but what he does is he crushes it. So he crushes it, kind of like a car, crushing it, and to place a rod. So now I have a rod and I have a screw. He put a screw right above my kneecap, and he put a rod where my femur bone used to be, and now my femur bone is completely crushed. Yeah, it's not fun. Let me tell you guys what. It's just not fun. I have x-rays. You know what? If I could do this... Is this before? Oh no, this is after. Without... Okay, maybe I can do this without... There we go. Okay, you see this? This is the rod that's in my bone. Okay. That's after the surgery. There's one. I'm covering up my name just for privacy purposes. Oh, that's my kneecap. Alright, is my name on this? Hold on. It's kind of rolled up a little bit. So, you can see there's like a screw right there. You should make those up there. Okay. You see that? So, yeah. I have more. But I think those are the only two that are... Let me show you the inside of what it looked like. Okay. Before. So these are the befores. Before my surgery. These are really neat, honestly. I've never had anybody allow me to keep x-rays before. Ugh. Dear Jesus, it looks like they tore into my insides. This is, I think, the before. But see how my bones are? Don't worry, these aren't crucial. I promise you 100%. These are not crucial. I don't know what happened here, but must have gotten wet or something. And I don't know if that was after or before, I can't tell. But those are all my x-rays. Put this back in my desk. So yeah. So there you go. And maybe in another video I will talk about more. But this is a 20-minute video and I don't want to go any longer. I'm trying to keep them short so I keep my audience's attention. I'm gonna go get some coffee. Be back for part 2 because it's kind of a long story and I really wasn't keeping track of time, honestly, and I do apologize for that. I'll keep it short, I'm sorry. But yes, I'm thankful I've had the surgery. I'm doing well. I can walk 80% better and everything's good. Have a great day. Go outside if you choose to. It looks nice. It feels nice. And I'm gonna go get some coffee. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go get some coffee. Bye.